With Game 4 of the finals coming to a close with Denver beating Miami 108-95, this really felt like the game that's the nail in the coffin where I don't see Miami coming back from a 3-1 lead, as it's only been done one time in history by LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2016 versus the Golden State Warriors. But with this series, with this game, putting Denver up 3-1, the series is really playing out how I thought it would. Prior to it starting, I had picked Denver to win in 5, but I would not have been shocked if they swept the Heat. Now, they didn't get the sweep, but all signs indicate they're going to put the Heat away in 5 games. But the series is not over just yet, but it feels over, but I'm going to talk about Game 4. So with Game 4, again, I did not see the first quarter. I was in the gym. I was working out, and crazy enough, they did not have the game on. Now, normally they have games on the television. They had baseball or something else on, so I didn't see the first quarter. When I was doing cardio, I had to track the game on my phone, just like the play-by-play. Essentially, in the first quarter, from what I was able to gather, Jokic went out at some point in the first, came back, because that's what superstars do. But essentially, it looked as if Miami and Denver were going at each other shot for shot. There was one point where Denver took, I think, like a 6 or 7 point lead. Miami called a timeout, and then Jimmy Butler really sparked a comeback to end the first quarter. And it was actually kind of cool in the first quarter. He hit a 3, which he's not one to really do, but he hit a 3 and put them up. I believe it was 21-20 or something around that nature. They were up 1. And at that point, it felt like, all right, Jimmy is going to take this game over, because I want to say he had 11 at the end of the first quarter. And it felt as if this was going to be a Jimmy Butler game at home where he was going to drag his team to a win. Well, it was not. So in the second quarter, largely why that Jimmy Butler comeback did not happen, Aaron Gordon. What's Aaron's middle name? I'm going to call him by his government name, what his mother named him. Aaron Addison Gordon. Aaron Gordon came through in the second quarter. This man didn't score 5. He scored 10. Aaron Addison Gordon scored 15 points in the second quarter. And he got to the line a few times, but most of those were just him playing bully ball. Cutting to the basket, going up, 3 people around him, it did not matter. Go up, slamming the ball, catching lobs. Aaron Gordon balled out in the second quarter. Another thing I noticed in that second quarter, as Denver's starting to pull away, Miami's hitting shots, they're doing their thing. Gabe Vincent, second game in a row he's had to be sat down before the half because he picks up these fouls really quick. Second game in a row he's had 3 fouls going into the second half. Jamal Murray was quiet in the second quarter though. Jamal Murray didn't do too much. Jokic did his thing, but the second quarter was essentially all about Aaron Gordon. Bam did his thing for Miami. Jimmy kind of tapered off a little bit. He didn't really keep that same shot making, the same fervor, the same fire that he had towards the end of the first quarter, but he was still present. Someone else who was shocking in that quarter, Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry ended the first half with 13. He ended the game with 13, but hey, he was in there in that second half. He did his thing. So at the half, Denver was up 55-51 going into the half. And one thing that was shocking to me as to how Miami was able to stay in this game. When you look at what they did at the half, Miami was 4 from 12 for 3, but they shot 56% from the field. Large in part because they were able to score at the basket very well and scoring in the paint. For the entirety of the game, Miami scored a grand total of 46 points in the paint compared to Denver's 48. So they really matched them shot for shot when it came to scoring in the paint. Another thing they did at the half, 22-6 in terms of bench points. Denver only got 6 points from their bench, where Miami got 22. And you can look at that where Miami does run more guys throughout the entirety of the game than Denver, whereas Denver throughout this game really had an 8-man rotation, whereas Miami played a grand total of 10 different players. So when you have those extra guys, the extra bodies coming in, you're more than likely to get more more bench points. But that was a disparaging gap that you look at it where you shoot 33% from 3, but you're shooting 50% from the field, and you have 22 bench points compared to Denver's 6. So in the first half, Miami didn't play terrible. Coming out in the third quarter, we saw a lot of Miami trapping a ton of passes that Denver would try to do anytime it was Murray. They did it with Brown a few times, especially Jokic. 2 people jump him, double team him with the ball, and try to cut off the next closest person to pass the ball to. Of course, if he wants to skip it across court, you'd have a defender rotate, and you're able to get there in time to try to stop or contest a good shot. So they did a very good job with that. Also, they disrupted a lot of passes. They got a few steals coming in, starting the second half, really hounding him. There was I think it was a possession where Gabe Vincent completely hounded Jamal Murray. He didn't turn the ball over, but just made his life a living hell trying to get the ball off. Now, the hero for Miami in the third quarter was Kevin Love. Kevin Love went on a tear by himself where he scored 9 straight points for the Heat and really did his best to try to keep the Heat in the game. Denver was starting to pull away, but it never felt like Miami was completely out of it. And one thing I noted down, and it shined a lot in this quarter, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic just completely unfair. Because when I talked earlier about them trapping and double teaming the passer, trying to eliminate any easy passes for looks, the pick and roll game with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is completely and utterly unfair. And to be honest, there is nothing Miami has been able to do, and there is nothing Miami can do to stifle that at all. Because it does not, when you have someone like Jamal Murray who's as fast, intentional with his movements, quick and decisive, and an elite shot maker as he is, whether he comes off a screen from Jokic directly, whether Jokic wants to rescreen, whether he's coming off one screen and Jokic sets the second screen, you can't guard Jamal Murray one-on-one. So what happens is somebody has to sag because Jokic can hit shots. He is going to stay above if he's not the roll guy. He can stay up on top above the arc. Now whoever's guarding Jokic has to drop because Jamal Murray, you cannot cover him one-on-one. So here's the hell that Miami has to face. When Jamal comes off that screen and he's going towards the basket, he's either A, going to go in for a layup, B, can pull it from mid-range and knock down a shot, C, can do a high arcing shot and get it in either way, D, something that I don't know if enough people recognize, Jamal Murray did set a record today. We had another historic moment for Jamal where he is the first player in finals history when it's a player's first appearance to average 10 or more assists for 4 straight games. First player to ever do that. So D, he can pass the ball very well to whoever's open if you double team him or when he drives to the basket and if there's 3 people to meet him. Or E, he's going to pass that thing out to Jokic and Jokic is going to knock down his threes. I believe Jokic went 3 for 6 from the 3 today. Let me check. No, he went 3 for 7. So either way, incredibly efficient 3-point shooter. So you're really screwed. And even if you try to stay on top and stay with Jokic, now you're dealing with single coverage with Murray. You can have somebody else rotate, and Murray's going to flip it out. And then if he gets it to Jokic and you close in on Jokic, there was a play where they did that exact same thing. Someone, I think it was Butler, played up on Jokic. Jokic dumped it right down to Aaron Gordon. Easy money. Because they're both such proficient passers, Murray being a good passer, Jokic being an all-time great passer, and both of them can space the floor and shoot, and both of them are high percentage shooters, not only from behind the arc, but inside the arc, and Murray is an elite slasher. You're truly, and they're surrounded by guys who can shoot and cut to the basket very well. You're really at their mercy, and there isn't much Miami can do to stop this Denver Nuggets team. This is not only why Denver's a great team, this is why Denver has been beating the Miami Heat. And it's not just those two. There was not just Jamal and Nikola Jokic who passed the ball very well. There was a really nice dime that Aaron Gordon had. I marked it down at 7:35 in the third quarter, where Gordon threaded the needle to Jamal Murray for an excellent pass. And Gordon, again, had a great third quarter. The man, he finished the game with a game high 27 points. So Aaron Gordon had one of those games when you get Aaron Gordon to go 11 for 15 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and finish with 27, 7, and 6. You just got to say GG's, it's up. But Aaron Gordon was not the only hero of this game. Going into the fourth quarter, at about the 8-minute mark, Jokic picks up his 5th foul. I don't believe what he did was a foul. I think Bam sold it, but the foul was called and Jokic had to sit down. And once that happened, you saw Miami started to go on a bit of a run. Jimmy got activated, started getting to the free throw line quite a bit. I thought the refs were twerking for him a little bit, giving him a few calls, but that happens. It is what it is. And it looked like Miami was going to slowly take this game back over. Let me tell you something. There was one player. Jamal played fine, but there was one player who said, we ain't having that today. Bruce Brown! Bruce Brown, Bruce Wayne, all the Bruces, every single Bruce who ever lived. It was like the Avatar. They came into this man and gave him the powers to save his team. Bruce scored 11 points. From the time Jokic went out to that game being over, Bruce took over for the Denver Nuggets. And Jamal played well. Aaron had his buckets. But we essentially had tickets to watch the Bruce Brown show. Bruce finished the game with 21, 4, and 2, shooting 8 for 11 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. But they were timely shots. Now, I know 11 and 8 minutes is really good. But it's the fact that they were timely. Anytime Miami hit a shot, Bruce hit a shot. Anytime Miami didn't finish on a possession, Bruce would finish on a possession. Bruce played sensational. 11 points in that fourth quarter to fend off the Miami Heat onslaught. So when Jamal was hitting shots, Aaron hit shots, and Bruce hit all the shots to make sure that Denver won the game, ensuring they won with a 108-95 victory over the Miami Heat. So that's 2 games that Denver went into Miami and 2 games in which Denver walked out the victor. So now on Monday, we go back to Denver, one of the hardest places to win in the entire league. Yes, Miami did win a game there, and if I'm not mistaken, they're the only team to beat Denver at home this entire playoffs. So is it impossible? No. Is it incredibly unlikely? Yes. But come Monday, next time y'all hear from me, it'll either be we have a game 6, I doubt it, or we'll be saying congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for winning the 2023 championship. But until next time, make sure to like, subscribe. If you have not already subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. My goal is to get 500 subscribers within the next 2 months. So every single subscription counts and every single subscription is valued. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.